Hey everybody, and welcome back to another Minecraft video. And in today's video we're going to be building an ice spike survival base. For too long has this biome been neglected, and I'm here to change that. So let's have some fun, get building, and make an awesome base. So getting started here, when I make a survival base, or almost any build in general, is I like to make a wool outline, or just an outline with any brightly colored block. It kind of helps to expose the shape and pave the path forward for the build. And the original concept for this build was just to transform one of the ice spike towers, but I realized we're going to need a lot more space if we're going to actually make this into a survival base. So I began making these lime green platforms above some ice spikes, and this was intended to be platforms where structures would sit atop. Though I ended up getting a little carried away and ended up expanding all the way up to the mountaintop. I decided this platform on the lower section was a little bit too big, so I decided to cover some of it up with this big old building. It actually ended up working out really well. It was finally time to actually start building, and I really liked the shape so far, but I didn't know what to do much for the colors. Though after I started to place in these roofs, it all began to take place. What really helped was to have these roofs being this dark brown, and it contrasted super well with the snowy landscape in the background. I then began working on the upper section, and I particularly liked this one because it was like this cool ice spike kind of combined with the mountainside, and it made for a really interesting challenge to build. I then made the bold decision to make it acacia at the very top tower because I felt like it was a focal point and I needed something to make it stand out more. Now completely shifting our attention down toward the bottom, where I decided the ice spikes, they're too boring. We're going to make them a little more interesting and actually make them look a little more like rocks that have frozen over at the top or something. I don't really know. And this was actually a really fun process, so I just began doing it to a lot of different ice spikes, making the shape look better, then taking my blocks and texturing it. Throughout the entire build, I think these rocks are just my favorite part. They're really unique and they're really fun to build, and they're just different. They really make it stand out from other builds I've made in the past. I then made these granite supports under the platforms to make them, well, structurally intact. Then adding these all around to the other ones, it actually really helped to break up the structural part from the natural ice spike and rock part. Then of course, actually finishing the platforms. Afterwards, I was feeling really inspired to begin working on the structures and the walls of this one located on the platform, so we began to fill it in with some light gray terracotta and a few other little details to make it stand out more, like the black stone buttons and oak trapdoors. Kind of just helped to give it a little more depth and character. And now moving more towards the center with the ice spike tower, it was more of the same block placing, just texturing it with some darker blocks on the bottom, getting lighter toward the top. Overall, I thought things were looking amazing, and I just began texturing and detailing more of the central tower. And I also had this cool idea where we'd add prismarine pillars, or walls, on the ice, and it actually turned out pretty well. And the only structure to finish up now was the top section. Arguably my favorite structure just because I like height, I like verticality, I think vertical stuff is cool. And as far as the whole survival base was concerned, well, we just had to spiffy things up, and also I wanted to add some sort of farm down here at the bottom. But before we did that, I wanted to smooth out the land and build up some more of the ice spikes, just to stick to our theme. And the only thing at this point that was bugging me was all the dirt, so I decided to get rid of it and replace it all with snow, which actually helped to make the browns on the building stand out a lot more, and I don't know, I guess I just liked it better. Now I started adding some fields on the bottom area so we could actually have a food source at the survival base, and I didn't want to go too crazy with it. I wanted the fields to be a little more sparse, because we're kind of in the snow, and I don't really think that crops grow well in the snow. I mean, maybe, but I mean, probably not wheat. I don't think wheat would grow well in the snow, but hey, this is Minecraft, so who really cares at the end of the day? And of course, making the rock spikes, rocks, it's very fun. I don't know what it is, but it just makes the whole place feel different, feel unique. And I know I already said it, but I think it's just worth mentioning. Build rocks. They actually kind of, like, look cool. You don't always need trees. Speaking of trees, I decided to then build trees on top of the hill. I just felt trees, they look good, okay? I mean, rocks are cool, but like trees, oh, you just can't go wrong with trees. They're so beautiful. And to finish off this build, there's only two things left, the rope bridge and the flags. Now make sure to stick around to the end of the video, guys, because I'm going to show you a little shader cinematic of this build and all of its beauty. And also, I'm going to give you a little tour of the place. But that's not all. Don't forget, you can get your hands on this world if you want to actually make this your survival base. Enjoy. Right, guys, so I hope you enjoyed that, and it is time for a tour. And the first thing I want to show you guys is just down below before we actually get into the survival base part of the survival base. And yeah, this over here, we just separated it with a little wall. I figured you might want that for protection. And we got a little wheat field here. And I mean, this is nothing really fancy. This was me just getting carried away with decorating rocks and such. But I think it fits in and looks pretty cool. So yeah, like I said, nothing to that, but now this is where the base gets started, and you can enter a water elevator that goes through this ice spike, and it brings you all the way up here, and you can actually get over the wall into the base, where here we have an enchanting table. I kind of tried to make it work and have all the components of a survival base. But it is a little hard in this particular spot because we got water flowing, and yeah, this just goes all the way down and it's an access to the wheat field. Yay. But this is a pretty nice little quaint place, and then over here it's just a room of like literally nothing, so we don't even have to look at that. But yeah, it goes up to this bridge, and here is the topmost level, which I kind of like. I think it's pretty cool. Unfortunately, this building doesn't actually have any functionality. It's just way too small for anything. So, I mean, it's just there. And this room's kind of free. I didn't really do much. I figured it was caved in by snow. And up here, we have the topmost room, which might be my favorite. Just because it's a nether portal. Ooh. And I'm getting a little tired of seeing the sunrise, so we're just going to swap that to day. And yeah, that is about it for those areas. And the final spot I wanted to show you guys was this building, which has probably the coolest interior. And to get here, you just come down this ladder, and you actually have to do a little bit of parkour to get up there. And I failed. And once you get up here, You walk in, and here is the kitchen. Very, very nice. Ambient, you know, we got a little furnace, a little campfire, just in case you want to roast your meat down there. Up here, we got some barrels, some just basic stuff, but it all makes a really nice, cozy kitchen. Up here, we got a cool bedroom. Yep, more storage, just in case you need it. Bed, and yeah, I mean, it's a really simple thing. Nothing too fancy, but it is a very snug interior, which I like. Anyways, that is the base. It really, it's small. All things considered, there's like, you know, 3 rooms that actually are big enough to hold stuff, but it looks cool, doesn't it? Yeah, I think it looks cool. So, yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed, and make sure to follow me on stuff, subscribe, join my Discord if you would like to see more content from me. I guess that is it. World download is in the description. And thank you for watching. Goodbye.